What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Alright, we're going back to Nightwish. Yes, indeed, Nightwish Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. This is a request from Home Gnome, and this is actually one of Home Gnome's 3 prioritized requests for the month of May for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Home Gnome. I hope you enjoy the show, man. Home Gnome wanted to see me react to this song by Nightwish. It's actually 2 songs for the looks of it. So we are going to have to double up on that.
Double up.
There we go. We're going to be checking out Nightwish, Elven Jig, and Elven Path. Now, have I heard either one of these songs before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard these songs in passing and I just don't realize it. So it's always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now, from what I've been told, Elven Jig is more of like an introduction into Elven Path. So it's not very long. It's like a minute and a half somewhere in there, I think. It's an introduction that leads into Elven Path. So that's cool. I got no problem with that. It's still a song, though. I mean, a lot of people will wonder about that. You know, introduction songs, so like intro songs. Do they really count as a song? Absolutely. They get a track listing on the album. So, yeah, they get they're their own song. Absolutely. Let's see, this was posted by Ladonis, I hope I pronounced that right, Ladonis, and the video has 48,801 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. Alright, here we go. Nightwish, Elven Jig, Elven Path, Decades Live in Buenos Aires. We're going back to Buenos Aires. Nice. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Nice. I'm already digging this for a number of reasons. The tempo is a lot faster than I was expecting, I'll be honest with you. When I thought about an intro, and I'm thinking to myself, this could go one of 2 ways. It could be upbeat, it could be fast, but knowing intro songs, most intro songs that I've heard are usually a little more laid back. They're usually a little slower in tempo. They usually try to ease your way into the song. So I went into this kind of expecting a slower tempo. So I'm glad to see I was wrong about that. I'm glad to see that tempo is a little more upbeat, a little more energetic than I was expecting. A lot of great things happening here. First of all, Empu with the guitar work, utilizing his tremolo bar, yes, but using the volume bar as well, using the volume, did I just say volume bar? I did just say volume bar.
Unacceptable!
What in the world is wrong with me?
I'm 100% stupid.
Using the volume knob, dear Lord, to give it that swell in effect, which is really nice. I love how he got that one pinch harmonic going. He got the harmonics going. And then he turned up the volume to get that swelling with the harmonic already resonating. That was very cool. Dug that. Tomas taking much more of a approach from, like, I wouldn't even say filler. It's more like ambience. He's like almost like sound effects. That seems to be like pretty much all he's doing, along with holding down the pedal note, which is cool. Very cool. Good to see Marco playing the guitar on that double neck. Very cool to see that. And then you got Troy on the flute. That was very nice on that low flute. Kai's drumming on this. I think that's what I'm enjoying the most. The fact that he's not playing on the heads. I mean, he is, okay, he is playing on the heads for the fills, you know, for the lead-ins into the next phrase. But for the most part, for the majority of the phrase, he's playing on the rims of the drums. That is so cool. And it's getting a great sound and adding a great effect. And it really is fitting this style. It really is that. It got that hard percussive impact with a high tone, but at the same time, you're not getting any of the resonance that you would get if you were playing on the toms. And for something like this, you don't want a whole lot of resonance right now. Not right now. As the song gets fuller, which I hope it does, then yeah, obviously you'll probably want to switch to toms so you can get that resonance, so you can get more of a full sound to match what's happening within the song. But right now, the song being a little thin, which like it should be, because it's an introduction song, you don't want that. So he's playing on the rims. Very, very cool. Very, very smart. I'm digging that. Let's keep going here. Love that shot. Couldn't help but notice Troy's got those helium pipes right on his lap, ready to go. So I'm expecting to see some of that pipe work coming up. I loved that shot of guitar with Empu right up at the front, and then the shot over his left shoulder and taking a look at Troy. That was a great shot. Great video work right there. Great camera work. Empu has since come over here to interact. Interaction with Tomas. Very cool. Marco doing a nice job on the guitar, I gotta say. I mean, I know I've heard him play guitar, and I've made the comments before about him sounding like he's a really good guitar player, on top of being an excellent bassist. I'll quickly reiterate what I said in that video. I can play guitar. I can. It is not a strong suit of mine. Like, I can fake my way through a song, but I would never consider myself to be a guitar player. Marco seems to be very at home on the guitar. I don't know, maybe he started on guitar and switched to bass, but still kept playing guitar. I don't know, but I mean, obviously, is he a better bass player than he is a guitar player? I think so. I believe he is, but I gotta say, his guitar work is better than mine, better than I could play. I'm just not that good on it. I mean, like I said, I can fake my way through it, but I don't think I'm anywhere near as good on guitar as I am on bass. So, anyway, let's keep going here. the song took off. Oh, boy. Wow, this song took off like a shot. A very noticeable increase in tempo, almost immediately. Like, it wasn't gradual at all. It kicked in. And it's funny. This doesn't always happen, but a lot of the times, whenever you increase the tempo in a song, the energy of the song increases as well. So they do go hand in hand typically, but not all the time. I've heard plenty of songs where the tempo kicks in and the tempo speeds up and the energy level stays the same. So, I mean, this is not the first time. And I know it won't be the last time either where I've heard that coalition between an increase in tempo and an increase in energy. Marco now switching out of the guitar to the bass. Very nice. And sure enough, we saw Troy going with the uilleann pipes. Very nice. Tomas now coming in, not being so much of a ambience guy. Now he's taking more of the lead, which is also very cool. Lots of transitions and lots of things happening within just this introduction. I'm digging this intro. I'm absolutely digging the intro. I hope the song... Okay. I don't know if I should say it. No, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I hope the song lives up to the expectation that the intro is setting up. Because right now, the intro is setting up something epic. And I'm really hoping that the song lives up to that expectation. It'd be a real letdown. I'll be honest with you guys. It's a letdown. When you have an intro that's amazing and it's epic and you're grooving to it and you're enjoying it. And then the actual song kicks in and it's like, what happened? What in the world happened? It just died, you know? I hate it when that happens. I really do. I've had it happen to me before several times from several different bands. And I'm really hoping that's not the case here. I have a feeling we're going to be okay. I hope. We'll see. Let's keep going here.
The shelter and shade of the forest. Calming silence. Accompanied only by the full moon. The howling of a night wolf. And the path under my bare feet. The Elven Path.
Okay. Let's back up a little bit. I was afraid of that. Shoot. I really thought that wouldn't happen, but it happened. It happened. I just got done talking about it. The intro is fantastic. The intro, I'm assuming that's Elven Jig. That sounded fantastic. Loved it. Loved everything about it. I loved how it was structured. I loved how it, for lack of a better word, it mutated. And it shifted, it changed, and everybody's instrumentations and roles within it changed. But it happened throughout. It wasn't like an immediate thing, and it wasn't like an abrupt thing. It was very smooth in its transitions. It felt very, very good. And I had just got done making the comment that I hope that the lead-in for the next song matches the intro. I really hope that the intro comes up, it finishes out, and when the actual song kicks in, I really hope that the expectation is lived up to thanks to the intro. I hope they match up.
That's how I feel.
I swallowed it. Don't get me wrong. I did swallow it, but I'm not going to lie. It was a tough pill to swallow. Everybody just all of a sudden laid out. The energy came shoo way down. And I just feel like I personally I feel like the entire intro was a complete and utter waste of time. It's like, why did they even bother? why did they even bother? And it's a shame because it's such a great intro and it got let down. It really did. Now I hear they're kicking back into it, and that's great. I'm glad they're getting back up. I'm glad the energy is coming back up. I'm glad that the energy is coming up to match what the intro did now, but it shouldn't have had to. You see what I'm saying? The damage has been done. It's already been done. And it's just like, ugh. I really wish they had skipped that 15 to 20 second part where everything just came down. And yeah, I really wish they had just cut that out completely and just gone right into the main riff of the song. I really do. That is a big mistake in my opinion. What they did right there, that was a huge mistake. So, dang it. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Music from the deepest forest, songs of seduction of silence. The Elvenjig is calling me. So bring your begging, ruler of the forest, yeah, they keep them cold, king of the innocent. Open the gate and let me follow the unharmed path. The way to the land, where is a hero stand? The path where beauty met the beast, Elvenpath. It's the honesty of these words, ruled by magic and mighty souls, that makes my soul long for the past. Elvenpath.
Nice play on feel. Switching out of the straight time into the double time. That felt really good. Sounded really good. Very appropriate place to do it. Very seamless way to do it. That comes down to Kai. Kai is the one who's going to make that happen. Guitar and bass can do it all they want. They could try as hard as they can to make the play on feel change. But ultimately, that comes down to the drummer. And I'm glad to hear that he did it there. It made perfect sense to do it right there, actually. Halfway through the phrase of the, I believe this is the verse. I think we're still on the verse. We may be in the chorus now, actually. Nightwish's songs are always very hard to identify the structure, usually. Now, there are some songs where it's really easy to figure out, but there are some songs that they do that you're never 100% sure, unless you're familiar with the song. Like, if you know the song, then you know where they are. But for someone like me who's hearing the song for the first time, they're not always easy to identify where it's the verse ends and the pre-chorus begins, or where the verse ends and the chorus begins, depending on if there's a pre-chorus or not. So, not always the easiest to identify, but I don't know. I think we're still in the verse. I think. I'll have to keep listening. I'll have to find out. Let's keep going. Back into that straight time. Okay, this is verse. Okay, this has all been verse. So I'm guessing we're going to transition into either pre-chorus or chorus. I'm not sure which. But then again, I don't know. That was just so hard to guess. It's so hard to guess. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. Let's see. Nice accents. Nice accents. Okay, so there's no pre-chorus. It's verse, chorus, and then verse, chorus. Okay. All right. Makes a little more sense now. Almost kind of has... I want to say something, but I don't want people to take this the wrong way. It almost has like an 80s feel to it, almost. Like an 80s rock feel to it. Especially with the patches that Tomas is using in the keyboards. Very forward in the mix, too. Kind of gives it a little bit of an 80s sound. And look, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a nice little switch up. You know, it's not something you would expect to hear from Nightwish. You wouldn't expect to hear that type of a feel and that type of a sound coming out of this band, but yet here it is. Is it a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing at all. If they weren't pulling it off well, or if they were trying to make a joke of it, then maybe it might be a little displeasing to the ear, but they're making it work for them really well. And it sounds very natural. It doesn't sound forced. It doesn't sound shoehorned. It's just flowing very well. So it's doing well. It's doing very well. Flora's vocals in this are really good. They're really good. I got no issue with her vocals whatsoever. Is it the most impressive vocal work I've heard from her? No. I have heard far, far more impressive vocal work from her. But what she is doing is fitting the context of the song. And in the end, do you want a vocalist who's going to be able to sing with... It's kind of like drummers and bass players. Do you want a singer who's going to sit there and try to be super impressive every single song? Or do you want a vocalist who's going to sing appropriately to fit the mood and tone of the song? I'll take the second one. Thank you very much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I know she can sing far more impressively than this, but if she had been doing things that were far more impressive, would it fit the context of the song? I don't think it would. I don't think it would at all. What she's doing is fitting the song just fine, and she doesn't need to go up into, the upper stratosphere with her vocals and, show off her ranges. Not right now, she doesn't. There are other songs where she'll be able to do that. But it's funny how a lot of bands, the singers in a lot of different bands, will take it upon themselves to show off every single song, even when it's not necessary. And it's amazing to see how quickly the songs can be ruined because of that. So, now she's doing a fine job. She's doing a fine job. I got no quarrel with what she's doing at all. So, let's keep going here.
Long ago, the early years of the second day, the great Elven Smiths forged rings of power.
Sando.
The then the Dark Lord learned the craft of ring-making and made
Ah, guitar solo. Back up. Don't have to stop in the middle of a guitar solo. Great glissando right there, coming out of her. Going down and then coming right back up again. Going down and going up on glissandos. Is one easier than the other? Yes. Yes, it's a lot easier to go down. It's a lot easier to go down. Coming back up, it is more difficult. It's not. And here's the thing, and the reason what I'm saying is that it is more difficult from one perspective. It's very easy to overshoot. When you're going down, you can still overshoot. Don't get me wrong. If you don't have good brakes and you don't know how to stop the glissando on the dime, then it's very easy to overshoot. Don't get me wrong. But it's a lot easier to overshoot when you're coming up on a glissando than it is when you're going down on a glissando. It's like, imagine you're driving, right? let's say you're driving to Vegas, and you know that stretch between Vegas, well, between Prim and Baker, right? You have that about, I don't know, it's about a 60-mile stretch between Prim and Baker. Not about a 45-minute stretch between Prim and Baker, right? There's a lot of ups and downs. You're going up for about 5 miles, and then you're going down for about 6. You know what I mean? And that happens a lot. When you're driving up, you're flooring it, right? You're putting that pedal on the gas, and you are really pushing, right? And then you get up to the top, and if you keep pushing, what happens to your speedometer? It overshoots. You're trying to keep around 80, right? You're trying to drive around. Look, it's the 15 freeway. Let's be honest here, okay? So you're going 80, right? But then you hit the top, and it no longer is, being forced to go up, but you still get your foot on the pedal. And all of a sudden, your speedometer shoots up to 90, and you don't even realize it, right? Meanwhile, you're going down. You're going down, and you're coasting on 80. You're keeping your foot on the brake and keeping it at 80. And it starts to level out. Now, what happens to the speedometer? Does it keep going up? No. No, it's a lot easier to maintain control on the speedometer. So it's the same thing with vocals. When you're going down, it's real easy to put on the brakes and stop right where you want to. Whereas when you're going up, you're pushing. You're pushing from here. You're pushing that air up, and it's real easy to overshoot. So she did very nicely. Did not overshoot at all. Not that I'm surprised. I kind of expect that from her, She's kind of gotten to the point where I expect nothing less than excellence from her. Like, the old saying, perfection is the goal, excellence will be accepted, that type of thing, or excellence will be tolerated. Yeah, it's the same thing. I expect nothing less than excellence from her. Anything less than excellence, and I'm going to hammer her, at this point. But, no, she did a fantastic job with that. Great job with that, glissando. Anyway, let's keep going here. Let's get that guitar solo now, yes?
The bear of the dark lord learns the craft of ring-making and made the
Nice tapping work. Some really nice tapping work from Troy there. Good ending. Really solid ending. Very solid. I like how they ended with the guitar solo. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that, but no, it made sense. I think it's because how Troy resolved, not Troy. I think it's because of how Empu resolved the guitar solo with the that descending line ending on them, that 7, not even a flat 7, but just a major 7, and then transitioning back up to the root to resolve. Really nice, really well done. Let me I don't know how this one's gonna go. Let me think about this. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Nightwish with Elven Jig and Elven Path. This was a request from Home Gnome, and this was actually one of Home Gnome's 3 prioritized requests for the month of May for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, Home Gnome. I hope you enjoyed the show. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this an 8.3. Yep. 8.3. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. Is this the best Nightwish song I've ever heard? No, it's not. I can honestly say I've heard at least, I could name at least 10 other Nightwish songs I think are better than this one. Is this my least favorite? No, it's not my least favorite. That goes to, what song was it? I don't remember the song. It was the one I just did before this one. Yeah, that's my least favorite. No, not this one. This one I really enjoyed, actually. There were a lot of good things happening in here, okay? I want to start off, and I know this is going to sound weird. I'm going to start off with Elven Path. I'm going to go back to Elven Jig in a little bit, okay? Elven Path. Now, good song. Really good song. Absolutely a really good song. Notice I'm not saying great song, okay? It is a really good song. Elven Path on its own would be getting... Well, I don't know. Actually, now I think about it, maybe it would be getting a great score. Maybe it would be getting about an 8.0 on its own. Yeah, okay, fine. All right, we'll call it what it is. It's a great song. Fine. It's a great song, okay? It's a low great, though, if I'm being honest. 8.0, maybe 8.1. I don't know. The structure of the song made perfect sense. It's a simple structure. It took me a little while to find it because with Nightwish, you never know what you're going to get, and I wasn't really sure how they were going to structure this song. The second time through it, I heard it. You know, the second time through the phrasing, I was like, okay, there's the verse, there's the chorus. Okay, no pre-chorus, just verse, chorus. Got it. Okay. Very simple. Very, very simple. Going into that little breakdown, the little, where I wouldn't even say, I don't know if I would call it a breakdown. The thing is, but it wasn't a bridge. Maybe a pseudo verse. I don't know, but it coming out of the second chorus. No, it was a. I guess it was a breakdown. There was a little bit of a dynamic shift. Going into Flora doing her vocal solo, for lack of a better word, where she was able to do those glissandos. Really nice job on those glissandos. Going into guitar solo to end it out. Not a very long song, if I'm being honest. I've heard a lot longer from them. This was actually one of their shorter songs from the sounds of it. What made it longer was the fact that they had Elven Jig attached. I'll get to Elven Jig in a little bit. Solid drumming from Kai, as always. Marco with the bass, locked in with Kai, sounded really good, filling out that bottom end. Tomas kind of playing a dual role. There were times where he was just filling out sound, and then there were times where he was taking the lead. So, man of many different hats, I guess, on this song. He was doing quite a bit, which is fine. I got no issue with that whatsoever. Ampu on the song sounded really good. The guitar work sounded really good. Loved that guitar solo, especially coming out of it with the tapping at the end. Really nice. Very clean. Very precise. Tapping is always kind of hit and miss. Some people, when they tap, they know exactly what they're doing. Some people, when they tap, they kind of know what they're doing, and they're able to get through it. But with Ampu, it seems like he's very comfortable with tapping, so it was really well done on his part. Flora's vocals, like I said, they fit the song perfectly. Nothing all that superly impressive, nothing amazing that what she did, nothing that I would ever classify as mind-blowing, but what she did do fit the context of the song like a glove, and that's what you want. I mean, look, you could have a vocalist who can sit there and they can show off their range and their power and their projection and everything else, and they can do that on every single song. That's wonderful. That's great. Two problems with that. One, does it fit? Is what they're doing fitting the context of the song? 99% of the time, no, it doesn't. So that's not a good thing. Secondly, when all they're doing is showing off their range and their technique and their projection and the power, guess what? It becomes old. It becomes stale. As impressive as it might be, it becomes to the point of, okay, we've heard you do this now for 4 songs. What else can you do? You know what I mean? But they keep showing off and showing off and showing off. And it's like, well, one trick pony. Got it. Okay. You can't sing with feel. You can't sing with power. You can't sing with different variations within your dynamics. You cannot sing with different variations of your attacks. You can't sing with different variations within your tones. You know, you can't do any of that. You're literally a one-trick pony. You can do that. Okay, good to know. Luckily, that is not the case here. Flora is very versatile in her vocal techniques, very versatile within her range, very versatile within her attacks. She knows how to get the most out of the song appropriately, and I definitely appreciate that. So on its own, Elven Path would be getting about an 8.0, maybe 8.1. Okay, maybe the argument could be made for 8.1, but I'm leaning more toward 8.0. Now, let's go back to Elven Jig. Yes, let's do that. What a great intro. I loved Elven Jig. I loved Elven Jig more than I loved Elven Path. Go figure that one out. Now, Elven Jig was very well constructed. It flowed like a river. It really did. It just absolutely flowed. Nothing in there felt awkward. Nothing in there felt out of place. Everything felt really good. And the instrumentation was fantastic. I loved seeing Marco on the guitar with his double neck to start out. I love seeing Troy back there on the flute to start out. Empu being more of like a ambience guy, along with Tomas being more ambience. Of course, Tomas was also holding down that one pedal note, which was fine. You know, you gotta fill out the bottom end somehow. And with Marco playing guitar, it's gonna be up to Tomas at this point. What really impressed me on that section though was Kai. Kai really carried that part, man. He really did, playing on the rims of the toms, not on the toms themselves. And I talked about this earlier, because the intro was a little hollower, and because it was a little thinner, I don't feel like toms would have been a good call, because there would have been too much resonance coming out of them. It would have been too full. So playing on the rims, very smart move. You got a great tone and a great sound, and without the resonance, without the depth, keeping it thin like everyone else was. So nice job on Kai's part. Very, very smart. Dug that. Now, as the intro progressed and it got fuller, then all of a sudden, Troy switched to the Uilleann pipes, Marco switched to bass, Empu became far more active on his guitar playing. Thomas still with more filling out the sound, but not so much from a ambient sound, more of a chordal structure sound. So now, Kai was just hitting the heads instead of hitting the rims. He was still doing some rim work, but now he was incorporating a lot more of the toms and the snare and the kick and the cymbals into it. So he got more active as well. Loved the intro. Now, if I'm being honest, this did have one sour part, and it's not the intro. It was when the intro came out, the intro stopped, and the song started. And the funny thing is, not 10 seconds before that happened, I had talked about this. I had talked about being terrified of the song not living up to the intro. The intro building and building and building and building and building, and then here comes the song. I was so scared of that happening. Well, unfortunately, it was even worse than that. It was build up, build up, build up, build up, build up, and instead of being here, it was like here.
What the hell's going on tonight?
It doesn't add up. It just didn't add up. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, did that affect the score? Yes, it did. It absolutely did, because I know it was by design. I know that's not a mistake, but in my opinion, personally in my opinion, that design is flawed. It's absolutely flawed. If they really wanted to get the most out of the impact, they would have cut out that one section where everybody laid out and moved from here to here. It still didn't line up. It wasn't here. It was still about here where the song came in. But hey, this would have been a lot better than this. You know what I mean? I'll take this over this any day. So, did that affect the score? Yes, it did. It did bring it down a little bit, but not by much. It only brought it down from like maybe 0.1. So, instead of getting an 8.4, they got an 8.3. You know, but the intro, Elven Jig, that was fantastic. I would have, on its own, I would have given Elven Jig about an 8.5, 8.6, somewhere in there. I loved Elven Jig. I thought Elven Jig was fantastic. Elven Path was really good. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy it, but I definitely enjoyed Elven Jig more. So 8.3 is where we're at, and 8.3 is where we're going to stay. So 8.3, final score, I have spoken. Well, let's get into it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.